Never need a match. It's unexplainable. It's unconditional. It's unforgettable. Unstoppable. So intentional. It's so invitable. Indescribable.
Hello, hello, and hello, and welcome to His
and Her Perspective.
And here at His and Her Perspective, we find common ground to harmonize relationships. And we do it by having conversations like we're going to have today. How are you doing, brother?
Pretty good, sis. How are you?
I am absolutely amazing. This is an amazing day. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it.
Word. Yeah.
Listen, today we are going to talk about sugar mamas, sugar daddies, and sugar babies. Is it for love or money? This is going to be hot.
Look, I ain't gonna even call you. Go ahead, my fault.
So if you're looking at us right now, make sure that you're clicking the share button. First of all, heart us. Give us the heart, right? Let us know how much you like us. Give us the heart. Let us know heart. Share, because sharing is caring. We know you can't do a watch party, but that's okay. You can also tag some people in the comment section. Go ahead and tag your friends, your family, and your foes. It doesn't matter as long as we get some people on this platform on today. And also let us know who you are, where you're chiming in from, so that we can say hello back to you. So, brother, what were you going to say?
Nothing. It wasn't important.
You know what?
Yeah, my man Yardley said, he's always live and direct with us, and he wants you to know that he likes the Minnie Mouse look.
Thank you very much. I have to get some youth in here every now and again and make me feel young,
Wait. What you trying to say? You trying to say I'm old, and that's what you?
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Okay, all right. Just checking. Just checking.
I would never say such a thing.
Just watch your mouth is all I'm saying. Mouth.
Hey, Desi, how you doing?
My lovely other half. What's happening, darling?
Yeah, Yardley says money strictly. Okay. All right. We're going to talk about that in a moment, Yardley.
Hey, Alexis. How you doing?
Hey, Alexis. What is that? You know what that is that she just says?
That looks like a tag. It looks like a tag. She might.
Oh, is that a tag? Okay, because I'm like, is that some language that y'all be real smart over here? Don't be telling me stuff.
Hey man, you know how these young folk do it. What up, Robert Lee? How you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing? So let's jump on in. Have you heard of what's the new dude's name? Melo Ball, the basketball player?
Yep.
What's his name? Yep. Is that his name?
LaMelo Ball? Yeah, they call him Melo, I think, or Milo. I don't watch it, but I saw I saw one of the headlines.
Yeah, so he's dating some, he's 20 years old. He got him a cougar.
Yeah.
A cougar.
So that's what we would call a sugar mama, right?
That would be a sugar mama. Because you know what? A lot of people, and we deterred from the cougar versus the sugar daddy because the sugar daddy has a real nice tone to it. Cougar sounds like she's trying to go out for prey.
Ain't she though?
Well,
just saying, ain't she?
I guess you depend. But is it prey would the men think that they were going out for prey?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean,
because wait, hold on. You see how you just said maybe?
Well, I'm thinking about it real time, right? And I know that a lot of guys think of it in terms of hunting, right?
Okay.
So I would say, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I don't think that there is any a scale for the sugar daddies, but there is a feline scale.
Okay, let's hear it.
That I want to share on our screen so we can look at the feline scale that they have here. And So can y'all see that?
It's a little small.
So I'm gonna help read it. Okay. So of course we gonna skip past the house cat and the bobcat. Those are babies from 0 to 12 to 13 to 17. Okay.
Yeah.
18 to 21 is the wild cat.
Now hold on. This is the hunter, right?
This is the female scale on who prey on younger men for their sexual appetite as felines.
So the ages that you're reading, this is the age of the male that she's hunting.
No,
right?
These are the age of the female.
Okay, go ahead.
So how the females are this age, and they're considered wildcats. So also the men, if the man is dating the young, if the man is dating them, he would call her the wildcat, or he would call her the cougar. So that's what the felines are called. There's no scale for men besides sugar daddy. And the sugar daddy can be 25 if he got some good money.
All right.
So
I'm tracking.
From 18 to 21 is the wildcat. Age 22 to 29 is a lynx. Age 30 to 39 is a puma. Age 40 to 49 is a cougar. And age 50 to 59 is a jaguar. 60 to 68, panther. 69 is a pussycat. They got 70 to 79 is a cheetah. 80 to 89 is a leopard. 90 to 99 is a tiger. And 100 plus is a lion. She didn't took her. She's all the way out of she just went straight into the lion.
I didn't know they were going that high with the scale, man.
I didn't either.
But
I didn't either.
I guess cheetahs need love too, huh?
I guess so. So what would y'all be out there, ladies? What would you all be based off of this scale? I think I am.
Cheetahs' lives matter.
Right. I would be considered a jaguar. Okay.
All right, let me see that jaguar scale.
Jaguar's 50 to 59.
Okay.
So at least I'm expensive. At least, and I can move around fast,
His first lady said she'd be a puma.
She'll be a puma. All right.
I'm sorry, my fault. I didn't mean to cut you. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead. Because I was about to just read some of the things. So I'm gonna pull this out so that we can, because this kind of it makes us small.
I was just gonna shout out Amina. She said hey to us. How you doing, sis?
Hey Amina, how are you? How are you doing? So if y'all need that again, that's at the Urban Dictionary. It's the feline scale in the Urban Dictionary. And so, yeah, that's really crazy. I think that it's something else that there's no quote unquote scale for men. Why? Why do you think that is?
Well, because we are the standard.
Oh, is that what it is?
Everything else needs a scale. You understand?
Okay.
So that which is understood need not be explained is what I'm saying. I'm kidding. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, that really is how things are often thought of. It's kind of like the fact that we have back in the day, people used to say, well, why y'all got BET, Black Entertainment Television, right? And we would say, well, because even though nothing else is called white entertainment television, it's already understood that that's what it is. So you have to identify the other things that are, an aberration from or in addition to.
Right.
So, right, wrong, or, unfair or fair, or whatever, that's just what it is. So, yeah. Yeah,
because many years it was just taboo for women to date younger men. It was just like a no-no. Yeah. And so a lot of people were doing it in secret. You would hear people talk about it. It's like, oh, is so-and-so, is she dating old boy down the street? That's like her son age. But nobody knew for sure. Now you got cougars and jaguars and women that are older. They're looking and hunting, like you said, for these younger men, and are saying things like, "Yeah, you better be ready, because I ain't old. I'm gonna tear you off." Things of that sort.
You know, for a long time, it was taboo for women to even enjoy sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, you kind of had to keep that under wraps, you know, and get your, you know, in secrecy.
Right. Right.
You know, but now women are like, hey man, you know, you out here free and doing what you want to do, you know, for better or for worse, it is what it is. And women are going after what they want.
Yeah. And they're not ashamed of it. They're not at all. They're not thinking that, you know, most women now know their bodies because they have explored their bodies and they figured out what they want. And they don't have to, you know, sit back and go and be quiet about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so they actually say that dating older women, that women that date younger men, they last pretty long compared to how long relationships last with dating younger women.
Why do you think that is? So let me make sure that I'm clear on what you're saying. That when the relationship is between an older woman and a younger man, the relationships tend to last longer.
That's what they say. I was going to ask you, what did you think? Because you know what, most of the men that I've ever been were younger than me, but not like lots younger, like anywhere from 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
Because I've always, I've never really liked older men.
Mm-hmm.
I just never did. You know, it was just not good for me.
Okay, so that's part A to that question. Why is that? And then part 2 or part B for the family, and for you, is it natural for females to be attracted to older males? Now you said you didn't like that, but there are a lot of people who think that that's a natural connection, that there's a natural connection between the younger female and the older male. So I just kind of wanted to know what y'all thought about that. So back to your first question while that one marinates. And since you just passed it right back to me as if I didn't ask you, I'm gonna let that slide. I'll let it slide. I think that, so we live in a society where, or even on the planet, where men have the majority of the resources. And so being that it's such a lopsided dynamic with men having the overwhelming majority of the resources, I think people are opportunistic. Females, in this sense, are opportunistic. And so they will oftentimes forego their likes and what they would otherwise be most attracted to and go for the guy who might be 65 with a pot belly and a super big beard, but he holding heavy, he got that bankroll. And so she might say, hey, you know what? I get my bills paid. I get new whatever, whenever, you know, nice little condo. I'm driving a CL something with a whole bunch of numbers and letters in it, you know, Mercedes-Benz. And for a lot of females, they find that a worthy trade-off, I think. Whereas I think the dynamic is a little different with males. And I think that there's a little bit more of an allure to a woman who might be older but is holding herself together.
Yeah.
You know, so and they have terms out there for stuff like that, like a MILF.
Yeah. Right.
And so, you know, that might be a little bit more organic when the female is a little older, but I'm not naive to the fact that there are a lot of scenarios, sugar mamas, right, where the female is holding that bank and she can buy that young boy a PlayStation, you know, some Jordans, and he gonna stick around for a while. Get him a new game every couple of weeks, and you know, he might be good.
Right.
With that older woman. So
now when you think of, when I think of the whole TV thing, okay, I've always seen, you know, remember back in the day when the stories was, I don't even know if they're still on anymore, but the what is it, the Guiding Light and all those types of stories was on. All the white women were sneaking around with the pool boys.
Those are
that
real
were younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they had the money, the sugar mamas. You know, but you didn't see that in our neighborhood too often. You didn't see it being displayed, I should say. You know,
Yeah.
even on television, you didn't see it displayed.
Well, and if you keep in mind too, that in many of those scenarios where she might be creeping with the pool boy or the gardener, you're talking about areas where these are quote unquote, well, let me say it, very high earning men. And high earning men tend to work a lot of hours, 80
Right.
plus hours a week. So they're gone a lot. And they're paying for, you know, the maintenance that lesser earning men would be doing for themselves. We cutting our own yard, we cleaning our own pool if we can even afford a pool.
Right.
So you got this young boy back there with his shirt off, got all the muscles glistening in the sun, and your lady sitting at home,
right,
you know,
right.
peeking through the curtains. You know, it's a thing, you know.
Right. And she was getting it on while her husband was at work, traveling across the world.
That's why I told my yard boy, I say, you keep your shirt on.
Right. As a matter of fact, wear a hoodie.
Look, he wear a hat and long sleeves.
Right. Let's see. So what we got up here? So Robert Lee says she's about to teach him something, take him down through there, give him some experience, LOL. And his rest lady, she went to Google some stuff. Yarley says he is young. Sally, he will learn painfully with money out of his pocket. I don't remember what he's talking about on that.
I'm not sure.
His first lady says she's 32, so still young enough to please him. Oh, okay. Old enough to appreciate him. Oh, she's talking about Mello and the woman that he's with. So then she's 32, so she would be considered a Puma.
Yeah. And that's still, I mean, my daughter is 32. Right. So, and I'm thinking of it in these terms, like 32 is not very old at all. It's only older if you're 19.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Yeah.
But 32 is still, I mean, you're still a young, you know, you're a young man.
Now let's talk about that. Does the age only matter when the person is in their 20s or their teens, of course? Does it matter when you get over 30? Does it matter if there's a 15-year, 20-year gap? What do you guys think about that? I personally still think it matters. I think that it matters if I think if there's a 20-year gap at 20, a 20-year gap at 30, a 20-year gap at 40, I still think I don't like it.
Yeah. You know, it really does come down. It's a matter of perspective, I think, as much as anything else. So I don't know. I think I would feel kind of strange with a female that's my daughter's age.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm out the game, but if I was hustling backwards, if I were single at this point in my life, I don't think I would feel okay with a young lady that's I don't.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I would not. You said what?
I understand the allure of it for a lot of guys because I think that the younger the person is, and I think this goes both ways too, that they tend to be easier to manipulate.
Yes.
They're less seasoned.
Yeah.
So you can imagine a woman that's 45 with a young guy who might be 21. He don't really, typically he don't really know nothing yet.
Right.
And then the same is true in the opposite sense. She hasn't quite been around enough yet to know, and so he can still groom her they can still groom the younger person to kind of get their way a little bit more. Whereas somebody your age, man, they done been around, they got a few scars, probably got a couple bullet wounds. They ain't going for it,
Right. So would you say it's more about control?
I think that has something
have been a part of our title. Is it money, sex, or control?
I think it's a little bit of, I think it might be a little, money is often one part of it. I think it's a little bit of all of them, because if you think about it, man, an older guy with a pocket full of money, and he's got all, look at my mama laughing at me talking about bullet wounds. But yeah, I think as far as fetishes go, You know, you got an older guy who might be 55 or whatever, and maybe he don't even look so great anymore. Maybe he ain't holding it together so good anymore. Or even if he is, there's something more attractive about a young woman who gravity hasn't had its effect on her yet.
Right.
So she's still, you know, real perky and all that, you know, at 21, 25 years old. So an older guy might find that attractive despite the lacking mental connection or even emotional connection. Just it's fun, more fun. I can see that. And then on the other side, I think an older woman, you know, if she's 55, you know, a lot of guys don't hold themselves together very well up into their 50s. And so she want a young boy to come stand up in it. Whereas a lot of these guys that's 55, 60, they need a crane to get that thing up.
Right. If they're not taking care of their bodies.
They're not taking care of themselves.
Right. Yeah. You know, because you got some 65-year-old men that look kind of good up in here. And my sisters keep sending me pictures of these silver fox men. And because they know that I'm just like totally against that. They keep saying, "You sure you're still against it?"
You know, Ronald Isley, and 70 years old, but he got his beard trimmed up nice. That don't move you, huh?
No. I mean, now I will say they are attractive, but I wouldn't want to be with them. Yeah. I would look at them, but I wouldn't be with them.
Yeah.
And I don't. It's the thing in my mind. And it could be, some things that have happened to me when I was younger that in my mind, I'm like, that don't seem right. Just don't seem right.
Yarley says, Vaun, it is a natural thing for older men with younger females. Older men usually have money, resources, provisions that men of the female's age range have not acquired yet. Younger females have the youth and beauty, the righter, tighter bodies that the older females no longer have. Okay.
Yeah, I hear that. It's still the same thing. You got a lot of women, 50 don't look like 50 no more, 60 don't look like 60 no more. And these women nowadays, women are really taking care of their bodies, especially they get up to 50, they want to be able to say, this is what I look like. Now there's some exceptions to the rule, of course. Maybe they are the exceptions to the rule. I don't know. But we 50 don't look, we the new 30.
Well, now look, would you say to that point now, would you say that at 50, looking the way you do physically, you're holding it together, is that the standard, or are you an aberration? Are you not, like, the standard is what it is, right? So would you say you fall above that standard, holding yourself together as well as you do, and that the average 50-year-old woman has held herself together much less, or not quite as good as you have?
I will say this, and I'm gonna only base this off of a video that went viral and hit almost 300,000 views. And out of that, probably 70% of people were like, wow, you look like that. Are you sure? So based off of that, I may not be normal.
See, so the average, and I concur. I don't think that the average 50-year-old woman holds herself together as well as you have, and as well as my wife have. Like, I think that something far beneath that scale, and maybe not even far, but I would say definitely beneath that scale. And like even that video that I did when I was doing those pull-ups and those dips. And people were like, man, you ain't, but again, I think that there are, just in my observation, I know that most guys that are half my age can't do what I can do physically.
Right.
So, there are some of us who hold it together, better than what the average might be, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I don't like you. Based on, only reason why I would give you any age is because of the gray, but not necessarily because of the gray, because people are graying their hair just for fashion right now.
Yeah,
but there's as far as there are more men keeping themselves together than there are women older.
It's silver, not gray. It's silver.
You're silver fox. I'm sorry, silver fox. Oh, did he just get kicked off? He just got kicked off on his own self. Y'all, I didn't do it. So he's coming back. You done got kicked, you done kicked yourself off trying to be smart.
No, I think that was you. I think you didn't like
I had my hands up. They know
you didn't like being corrected in front of the family, and so you hit that button.
They know I had my hands, but I was like, I didn't do it.
I saw a comment that Amina made, and let's see. I think she was talking about the age. To some people, it matters. If you're old enough to be my parent or my child, it's just a no for me. I can dig it. Yeah. And then here was another one. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. My last ex was 19 years my junior. You have to come to the realization that the younger person will have a difficult time understanding your point of view. You, as the older, will have the same difficulty.
I agree, because you don't have the same mindsets, and that, you know, some of the I found some pros and cons to dating younger, right? And that's one of the cons. Different priorities, you know, the financial imbalances, stability, social status for women. You know, those types of things, that's gonna matter when you're sitting around trying to have a really good conversation after the sex is over. I mean, like, we keep talking about this. I don't care if you at top-notch shape and you're having sex hour at max a day, you're still not spending, if you did that every single day for 365 days a year, it's still not 10% of your life. So you've got to have some other substance. And there are some people who have old souls, right? But that's not atypical either. That's not the norm. So trying to find somebody that has your mindset at that age, even if they have some wisdom, you know, here or there, it's just you're still gonna be looking at them like, what? You said what?
And I think the more time you spend together, the more obvious and the more glaring those differences will become.
Yeah.
The more pronounced they'll be, the more perceptible they'll be. So if I'm the type of guy who works 80 hours a week and I have minimal time, 80 plus hours a week, and I have minimal time for recreation, minimal time for pillow talk and cuddle time and all of that stuff, then maybe it doesn't matter quite as much, because our differences, you know, cultural differences, demographic, what's the word I'm looking for here? Generational differences.
Yeah.
They aren't as much in my face every day. So then maybe it don't matter. Then what, in that instance, maybe what matters more is how cute you are. Because I only get to see you a little bit. And so, you know, do you light my fire when I get to see you? And anything else really don't matter. So I can understand how some people, you know, but if you're the type of person who works a regular 40 hours and you and your baby are spending a whole lot of time together, talking a lot, and then I think, you know, it'll be more in your face, and I think it might become more of a nuisance in those scenarios. What do you think?
I think so, because I'm an intellect. I liked having intellectual conversations, and in my thought process in that is that woman, if it's the woman dating younger, would tend to then lose respect for him because he won't be able to tap into her intellect. He won't measure up with her intellect, and she'll start to look at him like, what? That was stupid. You know, why you say that? I mean, even if she doesn't say it out loud and verbalize it, she will respond in that manner. Because he might say something, she'll be like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and so that respect factor will just go away.
Yeah. See, it's looking at him as childish in ways where she should be looking at him as her man.
Yeah.
And there's a contrast there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and this is for the family too. Do you, and Yarly made this point that men are naturally, that it's a more natural fit for older men and younger females. And I think that with us being in this lopsided world where men have the majority of the resources, if the resources were more evenly distributed and just solely based on merit, not patriarchy, not anything else that that imbalances the apple cart, do you think that there would be as many younger females going for older males?
Okay, so let me make sure I'm hearing you correct. You're saying that if there was money was no issue, everybody had the same.
Yeah. Let's just say, yeah. If everybody
Okay.
had pretty much the same thing, what do you think?
I don't think that women would date older men. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
Because I think that many of the times younger women date, like Yarly said earlier, for stability. And if everybody was stable, the table was full on everybody's side, women would date who they want to date. I don't think that a lot of factors would play into it other than their own preferences of what they're looking for. Yeah, I don't think it would be a problem.
Now on the flip side, though, I think that older women would still kind of fantasize a little bit about the younger guy. You know, because in many regards, I don't think that she's looking to him for financial stability. In many regards, when you find the sugar mama scenario, she's looking to play.
She is looking to play. She's looking to get something that she's never gotten.
Or that she ain't gotten in a while.
Yeah. Or never. Let's keep it real, because there's a high percentage, and I should have looked this up, but I've read it before. I just don't know the numbers. I don't want to lie. But there's a high percentage of women who don't have orgasms. High percentage in their relationships. So they can get with a young buck who bucking it and hitting it right. Yeah, she'd be like, yeah, let me get with some of that. If that's what she thought.
Yeah. Was it over 50%?
It was over 50%. It's a very high number. Let me see if I can Google that real quick.
Wow. Meanwhile, I'll say, let's go to Sylvester. Says intellect, that is the key for me. It's like foreplay. Yardley says they wouldn't date at all. Explain that, Yardley. What do you mean they wouldn't date at all? And then Amina says, I agree, Coach Michela. Just like if she didn't look how she looked, would he still want her? And yep, because she's looking to get that back broken.
Okay, here's the numbers. 10 to 15% of women have never had an orgasm, and about 75%, 80, because that was 2009, 2017, says as of 80% of women don't orgasm from penetrative sex. 80%. Poor women.
Why? So let me ask you this. Now, the show is kind of taking a little bit of a turn, but let's go there. Why is that? Why do you think that many women don't have orgasms?
I think that because the major thing, and that's because I'm always about self-responsibility. I'm not saying that men, don't have a play in it. But if you don't know your body and you're not communicating effectively with your spouse or your partner because you're afraid you're going to hurt his ego, and he's afraid you're going to hurt his ego, so he doesn't accept certain things, you to say something like that. People are not talking about it. They're not having conversations about how to please each other. They're just going in, hitting it, and thinking that, oh, well, I'm supposed to do that, and that was great. No. How about, no, it wasn't that great. How about let's do it this way? How about you hit it this way, or move over to the left, or don't bite, nibble, whatever. But people are not having those types of conversations. They think it's taboo. But if you're in a relationship and you're married to, especially when you're married, right? If you go into a marriage and you do not have a conversation with your spouse about how you like it, you, my dear, are setting yourself up for failure. Because there's nowhere in the world I'm going to be married to somebody and they don't know how to hit it.
Now, see, this goes back into kind of what we were talking about earlier, how it was even taboo for women to even like sex. And so I think it's probably a recent thing where more and more women are starting to be expressive about what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah, open to sexuality is very new. around the 70s, end of 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
It's when they start to get into their sexuality. That's around the feminist movement, when people were talking, because in the feminist movement, people were having classes about touch your body. Girl, you should explore your own body, and things of that. So you don't have to wait for him, all of these types of things. So then she got to explore her body. Right. And you explore your body, you're going to know what your body is supposed to do. And it doesn't have anything to do with exploring your body to figure out or to self-please. It doesn't mean that. You need to know what your body does. You need to know what, if he touched there, that's going to feel good. If he touched there, nah, I don't like that. And y'all can explore together, because some people feel like, no, I'm not going to touch because that I don't, the different religious factors of what they will not do in the bedroom or to themselves to figure out what they should do. But you need to know your body. Because if you don't know your body, then he can't know it, because you won't know what he needs, what you should tell him. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Good points. Good points. So, man, I had another question about that, and I lost my train of thought. Let's move on. It'll come back to me.
Did you get this one about, I agree. Did you talk about this? I agree, Michelamonè. Just like if she didn't look how she looked, would he still want her? And yep, because she's looking to get that back broken.
Yeah, I just read that. Yep.
Oh, you did? Okay, sorry.
No, you good.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna co-sign what you were saying. So you would say then that communication might be the biggest reason that that women don't have those orgasms at the rate that men do, and then knowing self, like knowing yourself enough to know what you like and don't like, what turns you on versus what turns you off. Are there, and I want to pass this to the family, are there any other reasons, other factors that women might not have orgasms?
And to that, while we're waiting for them to say something, this also is communication and knowing their man. So if you know, and nothing, I'm not, talking about nobody, but if you know that your guy, if you hit it to the left, if you on him and you go to that left, he coming, you don't do that.
Stay off the left.
Stay off the left until you get closer to yours.
Yeah. You
have, again, this is about paying attention and really being, because intimacy, people don't understand. Intimacy, like Sylvester talked about, intimacy is like foreplay. It starts way before you get into the bedroom. It starts way before you get naked. And it starts with communicating. It starts with having conversations about what you want. You don't even have to come like, I remember back in the day, some movie, and she was, like a drill sergeant. I can't think of the name of that movie. And she was it was with the girl from was she on Fresh Prince, the real skinny girl with long hair? What was the name of that movie?
I don't remember the characters, but I know what you're talking about. Where she was like up, down, left, to the right,
right.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to because of course he's not gonna come. You're not gonna be able to talk to him like that. Yeah. You can do it in foreplay ways. You can talk to him throughout the day, baby. I love it when you did that. Oh, that made me feel. Remember you when you did this? Oh, that was great. So then he coming in his mind. Oh, I'm about to tear it off because I'm gonna do what she told me to do. You gotta make it seem like it's his idea.
So we need to be manipulated. Is that what you're saying?
Just a little bit.
See. my wife says. My wife says absolutely. My wife says absolutely. There are other reasons. Premature ejaculation is one of those reasons.
Yep,
that's a factor. So what now? Okay, we all over the rank. We kind of opening it up a little bit, but what would you consider premature ejaculation? Is that if a man lasts 3 minutes, is that premature ejaculation? If he's 2 pumps, 3 pumps, like can barely get in and out, we know that part is, but beyond that, at what point is premature? What would you consider premature ejaculation?
Okay, so this is the thing. Depending on how heightened it is, you can get to the point where you're in it 3 minutes, if there's some really good foreplay going on, you in it for 3 minutes after all that foreplay, that could be enough. But if it's a drive for 3 minutes and you just came in, took clothes off, did it in 3 minutes, you sitting there going, really? That's you think you did it? Don't you think you?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But if it has been primed, if you have been priming each other, 3 minutes could be some hot 3 minutes. Yeah. So I think that anything before the both of y'all are in agreement of at some point is pre-ejaculation. Yeah. So it could be 15, 20 minutes, but if she's not satisfied and he's done, then that's premature. Or is there an opposite for the woman? What would be so what would be the opposite of premature ejaculation, or what would be the female version of premature ejaculation? My wife's talking to me. She said no 3 minutes. I'm trying to help the brothers out. So hold on, I got to make sure my wife. So you saying if I show up with 3 minutes, I got my jersey on, put me in the game, coach. I got my jersey on, I come ready for a strong, sturdy 3 minutes. We can't go. She gonna be like, bruh. Yarley said the dynamic between men and women is based on mutual interdependence. For women, their survival is imperative, I guess. Their survival imperative is to find resources, security, and provisions from men. Men who usually went out, hunted, defended the tribe, acquired territory and resources, want to have legacy. Yeah. The agreement that a man's commitment of his security, resources, and provisioning is predicated on exclusive access to her body. For her, the femininity invokes the protective instincts of the male. Deep. Yes, deep. And you said all that to say what? Yeah, deep. It was very deep, but I need to get to tell us what was the purpose. I'll go back to it. I want to go back. My wife answered my question. She just said, nope. Not deep. No, she's not going to expound on that. She just said, take your jersey off and get back out the game, I guess. Right. Bernard says, sometimes you have to be connected to the person that you make love to. You can't just have sex with anybody. Yes, that part. And Yarley says, business. I remember. Yes. Yep. That's it. Amina said, "Yeah, I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need." We need that point, Yarley. What was the point in that? So going back to our that was one of the pros is having better sex. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's one of the pros in people dealing with. I don't know now for the man. Having a younger girl, would that be better sex? Because she would have more stamina. Better is relative, right? So it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a young, athletic, super flexible female that can just, do all kinds of things that as we get older, maybe an older woman, her knees might hurt, maybe her back might hurt, maybe she, you can't do my leg like that no more. Right. Better is relative. Yeah. So it's a confidence builder, they say. And here's some good ones. They have less past, less baggage. Yeah. Now that's a factor. You're talking about the female having less baggage, less of a past. Both. Now, the female having less baggage and the man having less baggage. That's what. Go ahead. Let's deal with that No, you finish up first. I was going to say they said that actually was a pro in dating a younger man, but I think that it would be the same for dating a younger woman too. She would have less baggage. She doesn't have all these preconceived ideas of what the relationship should look like, because maybe she hasn't had a lot of relationships, and definitely not one or him with an older person?
Well, I don't know. So this is a question to the family, I guess. How important, ladies, is his body count? How important is a man's body count to women in general? Because I don't think it's very important. Like, I know it's a thing for men. It's a real issue for men, but I don't think I've always thought that it wasn't as important to women. What say you?
Well, and when I'm referring to baggage, I'm not necessarily saying body count, because most women would not want to date a man that's a virgin. Most women want a man with some experience. We want to know he went around he done been around the block.
Okay.
Because he done learned some things.
So the more he has, the higher his body count, probably the better, is what you're saying.
Probably. We don't want it real high. You know what I'm saying? Not real high, but enough for him to know his way around a woman's body.
So if his body count, okay, so all things being equal, if his body count is 25 and her body count is 25, is it the same thing?
No. If she got a body count of 25, she don't tell nobody. You got 2. No, 3. Depending on how many kids you got.
2.5.
2.5. And if all 3 of them, if you got 3 kids and they all got 3 daddies, now they all got 2. Listen, one of them baby daddies must go. You now have 2 baby daddies. Because your body count matters to men. You listen. It matters. Now, some men may be like, but typically it's gonna matter.
Ladies, what say you? I mean, me and Coach are saying one thing. Amina, his first lady, Desi. What do y'all think? Does a man's body count matter as much as we all know that? I think we all agree that the woman's body count matters to men, right? For men, the lower the number, the better. And if it's high, we don't even want to know, right?
Go ahead. Amina says, but if he got fat cock, he don't need to be worried about nobody body count. Just make sure that health check and everything else line up. Her pass is her pass and your pass is yours.
I never heard it said that way before.
I didn't either. I was trying not to laugh and go through the whole thing.
That's a new one on me. Fat cock. All right.
But most times, this is the thing. Unless you grew up with him, and you've seen him be a thought, you're not going to know he's a thought. If a woman has multiple babies, you know, and they know that there's multiple baby fathers, then they're going to know your body count. Men's body count doesn't necessarily get shown unless they tell it. Right.
And we men typically, you know, might brag about that to each other, but you know, talking about that to a woman, to say you got 35, 50, 100 or whatever your number might be, like that doesn't typically, does that impress a woman? For a man to say, hey, I've been around, you know, and I've done things, you know, multiple, you know, whatever. What does that feel like to a woman to know, for a man to express to you what his body count is, that is high? Is
like
that,
Amina just said, he'll be a thought.
Yeah. My wife said,
go ahead.
Desi said, it doesn't count, but it should. For me, it would. Okay.
Yeah. He would be a thought. And then you would be wondering how many diseases do he have? If he put that out there like that, like, dude, how many, either you need to have stock in, either you have stock in condoms, or are you dirty?
Yeah. Interesting. Yarley said, if everything was equal across the board, first, that would be communism. Secondly, I believe sex between men and women would be more instinctual. We would have colorful markings. What? We would have colorful markings, a certain scent, or a funky chicken dance to attract the females for mating. I'm not sure what you mean, bruh.
Was that your point from that
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know what you mean. You kind of lost me a little bit. Garden tools cannot be used as household items.
He always say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife or a hoe
Can you?
into a husband.
Now, okay, let's touch that for a second. Hoe into a housewife. Now, obviously, you ain't talking about a woman off the street that's walking, but I don't think that women who become what we refer to as hoes, right, a thought or whatever, I don't think that that's an organic expression of sexuality. Not typically. Like in many cases, she's probably been molested or something went wrong. She got a hold of some negative influences, and it's not an excuse. I mean, I know that there are some who just want to get it in. That itch has to be scratched. I know that those scenarios exist. But I think on average, it's not an organic expression of her sexuality, right?
It's not.
So here's the question. Are there some women out there who express their sexuality in unhealthy ways, but outside of that would otherwise make a great housewife? Is that possible?
I'll say this. I think that if somebody is expressing themselves in an unhealthy way sexually, they're unhealthy mentally. And if they're unhealthy mentally, they're not healthy for a healthy relationship. Okay. So I think that would go across the board. There needs to be some dealings with that, because this is the thing. If they end up in the relationship, because they could be kind, yes, they could be submissive, yes, they could be all these different things that some of these men want, right? Mm-hmm. But if he is not, if she is a slave to her sexual appetite, right? Because that's what she would be, being a slave to her sexual appetite. She got to get it. And if he's not answering that, she's going to go, I got to get it somewhere else. So she's going to start acting out on that outside of her relationship.
So as you say that, I'm thinking not all women who would be labeled as a thought or would be labeled as a whole, I don't think that they all necessarily are doing it just for pleasure. I think some might not have the healthiest ideas about how to interact with men. So we have a society where a lot of our females are growing up without their fathers, right?
Right.
So in most of these cases, the only interaction they've had or the only attention they've had from men or males has been sexual. And so maybe in this young female's mind, she thinks that she's supposed to have sex with the men that like her, more so than she's just out there to get hers.
Right.
I think these scenarios do exist. And so let's bend it a little bit and let's target them. Like that would be an unhealthy idea about how to relate. I get that. But she's not in the pursuit of more sex just so that she can, scratch that itch. She's in it because, hey, this is my man. This is what I think maybe I'm supposed to do. What do you think?
I think that it's still, and only because I know, and I've had one client like this. Mm-hmm. And it shows in her, like you said, this is how I get the attention. So if I'm not getting the attention, whether it's physical attention, whether it's attention, whatever that attention is, and I'm not getting it, I'm craving it, and I'm going to get it at whatever cost I can get. And if that means going outside of that marriage to get it, I'm going to do that. And so that may come across that same way with her trying to get that attention because she's maybe not get the attention from her husband. Mm-hmm. So she finds herself, she'll go out and do things. The whole what was the name of that movie? It was a movie back in the day when she was just meeting up with random dudes.
She's Gotta Have It.
I don't know if it was She's Gotta Have It. She had her 6 ones that No, that was Girl 6.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, maybe it was She's Gotta Have It. She was just meeting up with random dudes.
Yeah.
So I think that again, that still has to do with she needs to be healed. There's some healing that needs to take place because she's looking at the entire situation in an unhealthy manner. And until she gets that healing, it's not going to be right.
Yeah. But in the context of, I guess, the female who is looking for love, just not going about it the right way necessarily, I would think that maybe she could still make a good housewife, but she's just going about it the wrong way. She's like Eddie Murphy said, "Wooking Panub in all the wrong places." Right.
Right.
No, I'm sorry, that was Buckwheat. My fault.
Right, Buckwheat.
Bernard Brown says, question: when a man is running around sleeping with a lot of women, they call him a player. But if a woman does it, they call her a hoe. Why, Coach?
I think again, I'll say it plain and simple. We live in a man's world. And because of that, I don't want to say the stipulations, what's the word I want to use? The standards. The standards of how things are based on how men are. And we're not supposed to be doing what men do. So if we're doing what men do, you're taking yourself completely outside of who you are, and you're not that feminine woman that a man wants to be with. So I think that that's really what it is. I think that like we talked about earlier, if things were level, I think that nobody would be a HOE. Nobody would be that. You just be getting your freak on. That's what it would be. But because of the standards are built, as you said earlier, Coach, that it's really built on the standards of how men are.
I know a guy, and his son just turned, I want to say his son's around 16 or so, maybe 7. I don't even think he's 17 yet. But he was so proud that his son lost his virginity. And he to the point where he actually brags about it, right? It's a white guy that I know, right? Not that matters, but because I think, it happens across racial lines. But for the sake of context, it's a white guy that I know. And he's like, yeah, man, my boy, and he's bragging on him. He's got these girls and, he's out there and he's getting it, right? So this is to the point in the question that Bernard, I'm sorry, go ahead, that Brother Bernard just asked. And I think that we live in a world that encourages males to sow their wild oats, right? And teaches females to preserve, right? Protect yourself. You see it right here, right? Preserve, protect, honor that virginity and cherish that yoni and don't, it's sacred. Don't just give it to anybody, right? But I think that sex energy is so powerful and so potent, hence the word potency or impotency, right?
Right.
It's strictly about the male. There's a proverb, an African proverb from Ptah-hotep, and it says that he who fails through the lust of women, no endeavor of yours will ever be successful. Right? If you fail through the lust of women, no endeavor of yours can ever prosper. Right? And so I think that for whatever reason, and it shows up in rap music and Black people's entertainment more prevalently, I think, than anywhere else, where we're encouraged to be hypersexualized, hypersexual. Black man, you a stallion, go get it. Right? Black woman, you a thought, shake that ass, and everything about us is hypersexualized.
Right.
And I just I sit back and I just think that, man, I think I can't help but to think that it's equally important, at least for a male or for us to teach our children that what you have, our boys, that what you have to share is precious.
Yeah.
That it should not be shared with just some thought. It's not just a nut that you just get off your chest. You don't just sow your wild oats, because that thing has life in it.
Right.
And anytime, no matter who you have sex with, pregnancy is possible every time, right? Yep. Even with a condom, even if she's on the pill, pregnancy is possible, right? And so in that context, I'm saying, if you're not excited about the possibility of her being the mother of your child, you shouldn't be having sex with her.
Shouldn't.
Right? But we don't teach that. We don't even teach the value of your seed and how vital and important and precious that is how important it is to protect your life force energy. And that, yeah, she's fine. Yeah, she got thick thighs, thick hips, beautiful lips, and all that, pretty face and big, all that good stuff, right? But she might not be worthy, not even just of your seed, but even of your sexual energy. What do you think about that?
I think that that's very true. Especially think of it this way. That's why you have men out here saying, "Oh, I can't stand her. I can't believe I got a baby with her." Yeah, but you created that dynamic because you laid with her and you gave her your legacy. You gave it. It's kind of like in the word. And if his help me out, who was on here? Who was, because I know she must have left.
Oh, his first lady.
His first lady. Yeah, where it's kind of like giving away your birthright. When they gave up the birthright, when you're laying with somebody that you just want to hit it and quit it, or you just want to get a rock off, or you want to just do any of that, you are giving your birthright away. You are giving your legacy away, and it could not be created in the manner in which it should have been created. So you're trying to figure out why you can't see your child. You're trying to figure out why you're having problems, why your child is this way or child is that way. You gave it away. You don't even know what you could have created. You could have created the next, whatever. I don't know. But if you're choosing wrong, and that's why I am such, especially now, I keep doing these videos with people understand that stop blaming it on the person that you're with, or that I can't stand them. They did me wrong. You chose wrong. How's that? You made the wrong choice. And when you can sit and say, I made the wrong choice, now you take your power back. And now you can say that I can release that person and move on, and I'll make better choices. So how would you, if you knew, this is good. If you knew that when you lay with the right person, you're going to create the next president, you're going to create the next NASA scientist, you're going to create the next billionaire. If you knew that the person that you lay with, when you connect with this person, you're going to create that legacy that's going to give you generations and generations of wealth, you would be very careful about who you lay with. But if you knew that the opposite was going to do the same, that you were going to create poverty in your land, in your legacy, you would be very careful about who you lay with. And that's how we have to look at it. Look at it that way. Look at it like, man, if I lay with this person, what I'm going to produce is going to fail me. What I'm going to produce is going to embarrass me. And people don't think of it that way because, all kids are just blessings. All kids are not.
No, they're not.
You got some hellions,
that
you like, where did you spawn from? So people, and that's a real thing that people would never, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. It's the truth.
Yeah. As you were saying that, you're talking about the scientist and what you're creating. And here's the last point I think that let's see, Yarley said, damn, dropping bombs on your moms. Let me read this comment from Amina also before I move on. She says, exactly, because you're preserving for someone who, by his own standards, ain't even worthy of who you are if you judge them by the standards he's judging you by. We stay the shield and the target, and it will continue if we continue to accept it and move that way in general. I can dig it. Check this out. Now, we teach our young boys to sow their oats. And this is why I love coaching men. I love counseling men, and I love putting an emphasis on teenage males, right? This is, I'm passionate about that part. And here's part of it. There are so many men out here who encourage their boys, hey man, just strap up, right? Just as long as you protect yourself, you good, right? One thing that we don't teach our young males, and I was an adult before I learned about this, sex transmutation, right? That same energy that our young males even men, are out here chasing women with is the same energy that it takes to build empires with.
Yes.
To secure your legacy, to forge your dynasty, right? It's the same energy. It comes from the same place, but we spend it in places that we shouldn't spend it, in ways that we shouldn't spend it, and we're just reckless with life force energy that we could actually use to build something and sustain something that we really need. So we give it away on things that are meaningless while foregoing those things that are meaningful.
Yeah.
Right. And so we have in our community, for instance, let's just talk about Black folk for a second, right? In our community, we have the lowest rate of self-sustainability.
Yeah.
Right. We, Amina says, so true, Vaun. Yeah. We have the lowest rate of self-sustainability. So we have more babies out of wedlock, right? Fewer families. And when you juxtapose us, or when you parallel us beside other groups, other ethnic groups, they are all single-handedly more responsible for the employment of their people.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is, if you look at the Asian community, and I know that breaks down to several different different cultural groups, Hispanics, whites, etc. All of these groups are primarily responsible for the employment and the sustainability of their own community. We are the only ones that have to go outside of our community and look to others to sustain us. Right. And there are reasons that's loaded, right? There's a whole lot of factors into that equation, but it still is what it is. Right. And so at the same time, we're promoted, or it's promoted to us, get it how you live, go have as much sex as you want, do, it don't matter, live your best life. We are probably, I'm gonna say this, and it's probably gonna hurt some feelings, but I'm gonna say it. We are the least serious people on the planet, so-called Black Americans. Black people are very serious. I'm gonna quote Dr. Kamal Kamban. Black people are very serious about not being very serious.
Yeah.
We can party and bullshit with the best of them. Now, I know other people party too. They got their party and they got their bullshitting too, but can't nobody shake it like Black folk.
Yeah.
And on the other side, can't nobody beg like Black folk, right? If you're gonna be, look, you better be good at one of two things, either planting in the spring or begging in the fall. We don't do no planting.
Yeah.
And when fall come, when winter come, we stay begging. Somebody got to provide us jobs. Somebody got to provide us every level of sustenance for ourselves. And I'm just saying, we got to, in order for that to change, we got to change.
Yeah.
I'm done.
We're focused on the wrong things, which is why you can then find, because if we were focused on what we were placed here to do, be fruitful and multiply in purpose, then we would get with people that have the same purpose that we have. Now, can you find somebody 20 years younger than you with the same purpose? It's possible. Not going to say that it's impossible, but the likelihood of it is it's unlikely. Right. So if you're about your purpose, one, you would marry young. You would marry young and you stay with that purpose because you will be basing the relationship off of purpose rather than these emotional feelings that are fleeting. And then you would do what you were supposed to be doing, which is being fruitful and multiplying. And you wouldn't be thinking about, do you need a sugar mama or sugar daddy, or do you need to be a sugar baby? You would be purpose in your relating, and you would do what you were supposed to be doing. And we typically do not do that. We do not think like, oh my gosh, I get attacked so much because I keep saying that if you treated your relationship the same way you would your business or your career, then you would be more successful at it, because most people want their check. Most people going to take care of their clients or their customers or whatever. If they have a business, they're going to do those things, but we don't take care of the relating process. And I want to say that it's not necessarily our fault, but we're riding on it. We're still riding it. because there's enough information out here for us to know that we don't have to ride that train no more. Get off that train because it's not doing us any good. Do better.
Yeah, it's not your fault, but it's your problem.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, we didn't break it, but if we don't fix it, ain't nobody gonna fix it for us.
This is good. The only people on the planet that prays to a God that doesn't look like them and think life is a game. Well, my God looked like me. I don't know about y'all God, but my God black.
Too. Hey, I'm made in the image.
In his image, you heard. And I mean, but going back to that, the reason that I think that, well, the reason why I was clicking on it is because what I was taking out of that before I read the whole thing was that we're praying, we're establishing ourselves as kings and queens of and heirs to the throne and heirs to all of this stuff that we're supposed to be having, but we don't act like it. We act like the paupers that's sitting outside the gate waiting for somebody to come by and throw us a bone or two. Yeah. But we inside the gate. We walking on the gold streets. We got access to the throne, and we waiting for scraps.
Look, Malcolm X said, "Only a fool will let his enemy educate his children." We don't even know who the enemy is, let alone who we should and should not be letting educate our children, right? So it just so happens, not coincidentally, right? They say coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. It just so happens that the things that we find ourselves most entertained by are the things that keep us headed in the wrong direction.
Yes.
We are entertained. We got songs about "I take your man" or "I take your woman." We got songs about selling dope and killing each other and treating our women like nothing and treating our men like nothing.
Right.
We got songs about every degrading aspect of what it means to be black, and we shake to it, boy. I mean, we party to it like it ain't nobody's business.
Yeah.
So the question is, what are you really entertained by? Right. And that thing, if you break down what entertainment means, I'm not going to turn this into a sermon, right? But if you break down what it means to be entertained, and then you look at what is entertaining the masses of our people, it means exactly what the results are that we're getting. If you look at the masses of black people, so-called black people, because we ain't black, that's another conversation.
Right. Whole nother
conversation. Look at the people being labeled as black. It's right. Your social status, not your color family, right? You ain't black, your social status is black. They ain't white, their social status is white. Another conversation, right?
Whole nother one.
But if you look at the people that they're labeling as black, and then look at what black entertainment is, and then you look at the way the masses of black people seem to be expressing themselves, then you can see we are thoroughly and completely entertained. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying if you want to change something, you got to change something. And if you're taking garbage in, what they say, garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage right? out.
And if you are enjoying the type of music that calls your women bitches and hoes, or if you're enjoying the type of music, lick my neck, lick my back, lick my crack.
You are what you eat.
You are literally what you eat.
We got to do better. And I know we veered, but this is what we do because this is how we get it out.
We move as we move as we feel led, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we got to do better because some of these things would not be happening. We wouldn't be talking. We wouldn't even be having conversations about sugar mamas, sugar daddies, and sugar babies. We'd be having conversations about purpose and promise and how well we're doing and man, how we can get some land? Because like right now, especially now, there's a lot going on. How many people got some land?
How many of us know how to grow our own food? If the grocery store shut down right now, you hungry? How long you gonna make it?
How long?
Like the past, like the pastor used to say, how long? Not long.
Not long.
Right? I'm gonna tell you right now, and look, I don't think this is very far-fetched. Look, we way off the topic of the show, right? I don't think this is far-fetched. If the grocery stores, for whatever reason, get shut down, in about 30 days, it's gonna be chaos.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if the grocery store is shut down and the gas stations shut down, you better be ready to bunker down in your home for 30 days and let all that craziness subside, because that first week, that first 2 weeks, it's gonna be bananas, right? How well can you sustain yourself for at least 30 days? But I'm saying you really should have enough food and water for a minimum of about 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because look, if where you live, if they go in and people start acting the fool and breaking into the stores and taking all the food and water off the shelves, they're not coming in to replenish that no time soon. Those stores are gonna stay, but they're gonna put boards up on the windows, but they ain't putting no food back in them stores.
Yeah.
And that means you're gonna go where to get your food and your sustenance. A lot of people gonna be in trouble. And this is why they say within the first 30 days of something like that happening, most people are gonna die.
Yeah.
Now this turned a little bit on the, on the morbid side, but this is something real to think about. And I don't think most of us think about it. They ain't talking about it on the Ricky Smiley ain't talking about it. Tom Joyner, Steve Harvey, ain't nobody talking about the realest shit that we facing.
Yeah.
Right. But we dealing with some real scenarios right here, family. And I think it's high time that we start getting serious about being serious.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm back.
Start Googling what you need to do and how you need to do anything. Start Googling what you need to do and how you need to do anything.
Yep.
And whatever you can think of, how to do, what to do in this case, what to do in that case, because there will be a time when you won't be able to do that. Mm-hmm. Start reading some books.
Yep. Brother James said, it's amazing. I met a brother a couple days ago, and he said, he told me to start exploring farming. Yep. Mina said, so true. And most folks don't. After they hit the stores, the houses are going to be next. Look, that's the second part. You better be able to protect what you got. Look, probably you can get a 12 gauge shotgun probably cheaper than many handguns. And that's probably one of the best weapons that you can have for home defense. Right. Get you a 12 gauge shotgun, go on YouTube, learn how to shoot it properly, and be able to protect and defend what you hold dear. Right. We're gonna move through these last few comments. Most people would be dead in 30 days. I believe that. People gonna die of starvation, dehydration, and just flat out, what's another word that rhymes with Asian, where people just losing their damn mind, right? People gonna lose it.
Lack of preparation.
Lack of preparation, right? Karen says my family would be fine and still eating great.
Love it.
Brother James says, loving the beard. Appreciate you, bro. Yours too, man. Brother James, that brother got a tight beard, man.
Yeah.
He talking about mine. He just he doing me like you do me. He just looking for a compliment on his own beard. That's all.
Yes. How you doing, Brother James? How you doing over there?
Man. Rest up, brother. Hope you're getting well, man.
Yes, we praying for you.
The recovery is coming along.
Absolutely. Nice. Yes. Yes. So this is good. This is good. We kind of veered, but sometimes we do that because we have to drop nuggets where we can.
Yeah.
Big guns, lots of guns, ammo, lots and lots of ammo. Absolutely.
You gotta have your 3 B's, right? Your bullets, your beans, and your Bible.
Yep.
Right? Now, or whatever holy book you subscribe to, or whatever spiritual text, spiritual ideology, you better be able to keep your mind fortified with whatever spiritual system you use, right? That's your Bible, quote unquote.
Yes, whatever yours is. Don't rely upon it being on your phone.
Hey, we might need to do a Karen says great show.
Thank you.
And James says he be loving your TikToks, coach.
Thanks, James.
Look, we might need to do a prepper show, man. We might need to talk about preparation because look, man, that might
be a show we have to do on Zoom.
Maybe so. Yeah, because I know everybody.
And we invite everybody that knows somebody. We need to get on there and talk about that.
Yeah, Mina said, "Yep." Because look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm gonna give y'all one tip right now.
Mina said,
"Yes." She said, "Yep." Do a prepper show. If it hits the fan, family. There you go. If it hits the fan, you might be without electricity for a little while, right? So. Yeah. I'm not knocking nobody who got a deep freezer full of food, but if you lose power, how long will that food in your deep freezer be good?
3 days, 4 days.
You better stay
out of it.
If you stay out of it, or if you go in there real quick, like remember in Eddie Murphy in the movie where he said, "Take small breaths." Right. Go in that deep freezer real quick.
Real quick. Take it out.
Have a game plan. You and the wife. I'm gonna open it. When I open it, you reach for them steaks.
Right. Right.
Look, what I'm saying is this. Probably one of the most valuable things that you will have is a manual can opener. And of course, some cans to open, right?
Right.
You can put beans and tuna and sardines and all kinds of stuff in cans that will last 4-5 years. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going into the prepper show. We should do that. We should do that. So listen, y'all, this is what we want y'all to do. If y'all really want this, we need y'all to be able to share when we put it out there, because we may not call it that. We might call it when shit hits the fan.
Right.
What ain't that? There's an acronym for that. SHT.
The fan.
Yeah, SHTF.
Shift.
Are you prepared for the shift?
Are you prepared for the shift? So we gonna y'all hear it. Y'all, when we put that out there, we need you to share it with as many people as you can, because we're probably gonna do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
So that we don't have anybody trying to block our show. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's gonna be good. Desi, you gonna get on the camera with us?
Desi ain't gonna never cam up, I promise you. Hey, my baby done went and got locks. You know what I mean?
She got to see her locks.
My baby a dreadhead. She went and got them locks did for me, looking like the fabulous Medusa around here.
Come on now, honey. Looking all sexified queen. Yes.
Yeah, she looked good.
I love it.
Yeah, fam. That's the next deal. And we could probably put that together pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, I think we can do that real quick. We can do that like within the next couple of days if you like.
I would like that.
So like today is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. What day?
Well, let's talk off camera. But let's just say this to the family: be prepared. We're gonna do it within the next week. I would say that we can do it within the next week, and so that might be within a couple of days, 2, 3, 4 days, whatever. Make sure you're following Coach Michelamonè and myself, and just stand by for the updates, because we're gonna put it out and we're gonna share it, and then make sure y'all share it with your friends and tell them to share it with their friends.
Right.
We're gonna get us a nice little show popping on that.
Right. I think that'll be good.
Man, this has been a good show. We
can go into. Can we do a room?
On what?
On Facebook.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Are they monitoring the rooms? I just don't want nobody to shut us down.
I think it might be better if we go off of Facebook, like you said. I think it might be better. Everybody should have access to Zoom. We can share the link and they can just jump right on in.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I love it. This is gonna be good.
Brother James said Desiree and my wife would not come in front of the camera. Man, my wife, bruh,
as beautiful as they are.
Brother James' wife is lovely. My wife, of course, is lovely, and they don't want no parts of the camera.
That's all right. Whisper in my ear, I'm gonna tell it all. What y'all want me to say?
She might be sitting right when we do this prepper show. She might be sitting right next to me, but the camera's still gonna look just like this.
Right. She'd be like, "Don't forget this part."
Yeah.
All right. So listen, don't forget again, like he said, please make sure that you're following us on all social media platforms, including TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the red bell, notification bell on our YouTube page. Please go to our YouTube page, because there, we can, also ATR, All Things Relevant. Make sure that you are following them on all social media platforms as well. And don't forget to let people know about our show. If y'all keeping us a secret, shame on y'all. Don't keep us a secret. We want people to know. Let your folk know that we over here talking some good stuff.
Yep. Factuals. This has been good.
Yes, it has been. It has been very good. You want to lead us up on out of here?
Yeah, I'm gonna share this link with the family real quick so they can come.
Yeah.
And
then don't forget our show is being sponsored by our books. Rejection Saved My Life for Me. 15 transformational keys on using rejection as fuel. If you've ever had any confidence issues, any issues with being rejected, this is a very good book. It gives you 15 keys on how to overcome that rejection. It also gives you some really funny stories on what my life was like. So y'all can get some things. I keep hearing people say that they've gone through every emotion possible. Also, 31 days of conditions of love.
31 days to mastering your relationship. This is a book that my wife and I have put together. This is 31 years of tried and true practices of what it takes to master your relationship.
Yes.
We wrote that book together, and it's essentially marriage enhancement in a binder. And for people, especially for most people who can't afford marriage counseling or relationship counseling. So some real good nuggets in there. We're proud of that. We've been selling that book all over the world. Yeah. And it's a good piece. So,
and you can find both books on our pages. Go to his page. You'll be able to see his link to his website and get that book. As well as on my page, you'll find my website and get my link. I guess he's going to go ahead and put it in there. But make sure that you pick those up. Share. Sharing is caring. If you know somebody who's dealing with these issues in their marriage, in their relationship, in their personal self, recommend our books to them.
Mm-hmm. And our coaching. I mean, like we coach individually, but we also coach together. There have been a few couples that have had the benefit of us coaching them together, and we proud of that work too, man. We've been
Yes, we just got a couple that was one of our couples that we coached together just got married on Tuesday, and they were pushing way. Like we don't know by the time we don't know. They weren't sure. We've been coaching them. They just got married on Tuesday.
Yep.
Yes.
Shout out to them.
Yes.
Nice little pat on the back for us.
Yes. So she said we need to drop all those links on each video so that when these videos float, they can see the links. They did pop up. I think they all popped up. Wait a minute.
You talking about
the YouTube page? Okay, so we need to drop.
And then I put our websites in there.
Thank you, Blacknificent Show. I love that. There you go. Coach Michelamonè on all of them.
Did it come up?
Yep.
Okay. And then for me and my lovely better half, www.theconditionsoflove.com, because love is indeed conditional. If you want unconditional love, doggone to get you a Doberman Pinscher. I sell those too.
Or you can talk to me and I can show you how to have it.
I got puppies, family. If you want unconditional love, I got puppies.
That's an inside joke, y'all. We always argue about conditions of love.
Yeah. Yo! You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with us. And for that, we are eternally thankful. We love y'all so much. Peace.